My F35 sister F27 started dating one of those brutally honest guys few months ago. He can be quite rude and make backhanded comments about me and the family sometimes, which is bothersome, but my sister says he's not malicious but he's just the brutally honest type and we should get used to it. I visited my parents' house to celebrate my sister's birthday and my husband couldn't come with me because he was busy. After the party we all sat down for dinner and my sister's boyfriend said it was weird that my husband and I don't have kids despite being married for 6 years now. I was shocked that he brought this up, but I gave a short answer stating that it's because of infertility issues. He asked on which side and I didn't want to answer, but my sister said it's on my side. I got uncomfortable as he looked at me for a second and said that maybe not having kids now is a good thing because he thought women over 30 might produce defective babies due to age. I told him it was none of his business, but he said that he was just giving his honest opinion and that's all. I, in return, told him while maintaining eye contact, "Trust me, if I wanted an asshole's opinion, I would have farted." Literally everyone at the table bursted into laughter and my sister and her boyfriend were stunned. Few seconds later her boyfriend excused himself out and my sister followed, then sent me a text after they left saying I was mean and disrespectful towards her boyfriend and insulted him maliciously just cause he stated his honest opinion. She also said I ruined her birthday by being petty and making her boyfriend the joke of the night in front of their family. I didn't respond, but she demanded an apology via mail as soon as possible. Mom agreed that I shouldn't have said what I said and should have just ignored him knowing how he is. I think Ada, but I'm not sure. I bought a house 7 years ago and I met my fiancé, Al, 4 years ago this year he moved in. We're talking about making it a home for both of us. But as of now, he hasn't moved much stuff in. Right now 95% of the stuff and furniture in the house is mine. When his mom comes over, she's kind of a snoop. He was used to that, but when she comes to our house, it's so uncomfortable because she's just going through my shit. When I am bothered, she's like I was just helping with chores etc. He says I should just let her because she has a lot of nervous energy. One thing she snooped on was actually embarrassing. In my home office, I had a little affirmation post-it note on my monitor saying I am smart, I am skilled, I am deserving of great things. It was a silly thing my therapist recommended to get me in a confident mindset before an interview. Anyway, she made a comment too about my ego. But as a joke, I decided to do it again. I had my best friend over and we got wine drunk and wrote a bunch of affirmations to hide. Some were: medicine cabinet, my teeth will regrow. I am shark-like and powerful. Kitchen drawers, I know when to spoon, but I also know when to fork. I am sexy and self-assured. Work desk, I will not just fuck my way to the top of the company, I will fuck my way to the top of the world. Walk-in closet, I am beautiful with clothes and without. Especially without. My boobs are legendary. There were a bunch more, and my friend and I had a hilarious time writing them. Next time my Mill came over she saw a few. And she didn't acknowledge them to me even though she definitely started acting a little weird about me. I went to run some errands and when I was out, she confronted Al about the notes and was trying to tell him that I seemed unstable, egotistical, and moving in was a bad idea. She showed him the notes and he didn't really know what to make of it. He asked me and I said that they were just some silly private notes to boost my self-confidence and make myself laugh. How had she gotten them? Had she been going through my things? He said she was just hiding, and saw them. And they were real weird. I was like, have you met me? You should know how weird I am. Anyway, if you don't want your mom seeing my weird shit you've got to stop letting her go through my shit. He asked if I left them on purpose to annoy her, and I admitted that was kinda the joke, but I also have other weird or private shit, so what I said about her needing to stop snooping if she didn't want to find weird crap was still for real. He said I was making stuff hard for him. His mom was really protective and adjusting to him moving in with a girlfriend for the first time, and I was agitating her on purpose and making her think I wouldn't be a good partner, when he wanted her to have the opposite impression of me. Ada for the note prank? We hired a housekeeper that comes over several times a week to get the house cleaned since my husband and I are busy with work. We have 2 kids, Jeremy 16 and Rhea 14. Now Jeremy is a jokester, he likes pulling pranks on everyone in the house ... and that included the housekeeper. He did stuff like throw her purse, hide her wallet and got punished for it, then told to not do it again because our housekeeper almost quit and we didn't want her that. Now on to the current situation. Some days ago I got a call from Jeremy while he was having friends over telling me he saw the housekeeper sneak one of my jewelry into her purse and asked me to come home immediately. I freaked out and tried to call my husband but he didn't pick. I went home and was mad. I talked to the housekeeper and she denied putting anything in her purse. I demanded to see her purse and my jewelry was there. The housekeeper started swearing on her children that she didn't put it in there and had no idea how it got there. I believed her and figured Jeremy had something to do with it given his history. I switched my attention towards him and had him explain to me exactly how he saw our housekeeper do it. He told me what he saw, but a friend of his came forward and said that he saw Jeremy put the jewelry inside the lady's purse and was trying to get her in trouble. Jeremy yelled at his friend, then told me it was just one of his pranks, but I was furious. I kicked the rest of his friends who covered for him out and I punished him hard and apologized to the housekeeper. My husband reacted unexpectedly after he heard and said that I was wrong for choosing to believe the housekeeper over our son even though there was a witness, but he said his friend must have said this to get him in trouble or because the housekeeper paid him to side with her, which was shockingly absurd of him to say. He said I was not being a good mother and my first instinct is to always believe my son in whatever he says. AMD never ever questioned him in front of his friends like that. I'm confused. Did I mess up? When I was 13 years old, my mother found out my father was having an affair and he got the other woman pregnant. After this came out, my father confessed he was in love with the other woman and wanted to leave my mother. She obviously heartbroken and didn't know what to do. We had moved to a new state with my father for work, so she had no family around. My father dropped us like a bad habit soon after this came out. He attempted to keep a relationship with me, but ultimately his new family was his priority, as he said. Tough to understand for a 13-year-old, but whatever. If he didn't want me, I wasn't going to need him, so my mother and I moved on. But the only way we were able to move on was with the help of my grandmother, my father's mother's. She always loved us and was appalled with what her son had done to us. He stopped seeing her as well for the most part. We became very close over the years, seeing each other for special occasions and holidays while her son was nowhere to be found. She even helped my mom out monetarily when we needed it too. Unfortunately, the years caught up with her and she developed colon cancer, advanced late stage. Her decline was rapid. Within a few months she was in hospice. Days before she passed, she asked me to call her son to come see her as she knew her time was coming. He'd only been to see her a couple times since she had gotten sick. When he came by, I was visiting as we did every few days, and he acted like I was some random person. Grandma asked him to come back tomorrow, but he said he'd be back in a few days. She passed 4 days later without him coming back despite my calls and texts to come. She went peacefully with me and my mom by her side. That was hard. I miss her every day. She was my guardian angel most of my life, and I know she continues to watch over me. After the services, where my father did show up and made a big scene and made it about himself, we were contacted by her lawyer. Unbeknownst to everybody, she left me her house and a good amount of money. $200,000. No idea she did that, but in the will, there was a note to me from her that said, "You are worth it. Love, Grandma." She's amazing. Also in her will, she left my father exactly $1 as his inheritance. When he found out, he went ballistic, blowing up my phone all the time, demanding I give him his house and his money. His new wife and his son were messaging me a lot, and his son was writing on social media that I manipulated my grandmother. My father apologized and said he was under a lot of stress because he's in debt and was banking on this money to come in for bills and to send his son to college. That made me feel bad. Like maybe I should give him something. I've thought about it a lot and I don't think I'm going to share anything with him, and I kind of think that makes me an asshole because it seems like they really do need it. But on the other hand, fuck him. I don't know. Am I the asshole? Morning edit. Well, this really blew up. I did not expect that at all. Thank you all so much for responding and for the personal DMS, and for the awards. It was all very generous and it really has put everything in perspective. I'll try to get back to as much as I can when I am free. My F32, best childhood friend, F32, just became a lawyer and then dumped her boyfriend. And #X200B. My best friend and I grew up in poverty. We had not much opportunities for an education. For young women in our area, our options were retail, drug dealing, prostitution, or hoping a rich guy would notice us. For guys it was retail, drug dealing, or finding one of the few factory jobs remaining. I got lucky, managed to date a med student. He helped open doors for me and I have become a teacher in a school in a lower socioeconomic area to provide those opportunities. My husband is now a doctor. My friend tried that option but was not as lucky. She was working min-wage retail at age 25. While doing so she got friendly with a factory worker, M30, who came by regularly and they started dating. He knew he was not the academic type, school was not for him. But he also saw potential in my friend and encouraged her to go school. She had dreams of becoming a criminal prosecutor and he encouraged her to not give up. He took out whatever loan he could find so that she could get an education. He supported her through and through, did the housework, worked extra shifts, everything so she could get an education. My friend persevered, graduated, and became a lawyer. Shortly after, she broke up with her boyfriend, just as he planned on proposing to her. She said that as a professional, she had no interest being married to a working-class man and that she deserves a real man. I was horrified and told her that she is betraying a man who has supported her through all this and made her what she is. She got mad and said that it is not the woman's job to pay the bills and that I am a hypocrite cause my husband makes a lot more than me. She further said that the idea of marriage as a life partnership is a patriarchal construct, that she has the right to date whomever she wants, and that as a feminist I should be supporting her. I told her that she is not only a major asshole, she is giving feminists a bad name because feminism means women financially supporting their male partners as much as in the reverse. Edit, I am no longer friends with her. Edit 2, yes, he is on the hook for the loans, she has no intent of paying them back. Edit 3, my ex-bestie's ex-boyfriend has seen this and is thankful for all the support he has gotten. He is still deeply hurt but my husband and I are right now focused on him. For starters, I just want to say we do have money and don't have a need to save money. My wife 42F currently works as a part-time nurse. I 42M work in the local police department as a detective. We have 2 kids, son 12M and daughter /13F. My wife has started wanting to save money and it's starting to annoy the kids. An example, we were giving the kids $10 each week for allowance, but my wife decided that $10 was too much and lowered it to $3. I have told her that I think the allowance amount is too low, but she disagrees. Another example is that she will buy meals to bring to the restaurant to be microwaved. We have gotten looks before and it's always turned down. It results in her making a fuss and will be asked to leave. I have told her that she needs to stop and that when we go out, I am fine with her ordering whatever she wants. I normally pay for the groceries, the bills, and food that we eat out. My wife helps with small payments and will buy our kids cheap clothing. My daughter does have like to wear designer clothing and I normally will buy the clothes and then hear about it from my wife. My son was turning 12 and he wanted to eat out at his favorite steakhouse. I did ask that my wife not bring any of her meals along to the restaurant. We arrived at the restaurant and sat down at the table. My wife gets up to use the bathroom and we order our drinks. When the drinks arrive, we give the waiter what we want to eat and my wife orders a small salad. The waiter comes back over with a meal and says, "Ma'am, we can't warm this up for you." I see my son and daughter both look embarrassed, and I apologize to the waiter. My wife spends the rest of the dinner staying silent and wouldn't touch the salad she ordered. When the evening was over and we got home, my wife and I began to argue about the evening. I told her that she was in the wrong for bringing a meal when I asked her not to. She started to argue back that eating out is a waste. I then said, "Well, you embarrassed everyone, including our kids." She asked me to leave the bedroom and I am now staying in the guest bedroom. Ada for telling my wife she embarrassed everyone during son's birthday dinner.